Hello world, it's Kurtis Potter with Boundless Inspiration. There's 6 days left of 2021. And for me, end of the year is always the time where I do a lot of self-evaluation. I think for a lot of us, we do that. We're like, man, this is going to be my New Year's resolution, right? Well, that comes from the self-evaluation of knowing things weren't exactly how you wanted them to be this year. And like, you know what? I'm going to make a change. So a lot of New Year's resolutions fail. They say most of them fail by 7 days. And they actually say that January 14th is typically the most depressing day of the year statistically, because you realize that your New Year's resolutions failed already. And then also a lot of that credit card debt and financial burden comes to you because you're seeing the repercussions from spending too much money for Christmas on gifts that you really didn't need to. So we're going to focus this year on Boundless, on changing not only the rest of this year, taking ownership and looking in the mirror and really evaluating how this year was and seeing where we are being intentional on the next year to create the first of many amazing years to come. Like, I truly know and believe for you and myself as well that next year is going to be the best year of our life so far. Because see, then we're going to keep on stepping it up every year after that. So every year we can say, this was the best year of my life. This was the best year of my life. This was the best year of my life, and believe it and create the ultimate amount of joy and happiness in our lives. So since there's 6 days left in December in 2021, I wanted to talk to you about some of the questions that I ask myself on, am I becoming boundless, and evaluating 2021. Now, I not only recommend this every year, but something that I'm going to do and be more intentional on in 2022 is doing a self-evaluation at every end of the week, one at the end of every month, one at the end of every quarter, and then again, one at the end of the year. Because see, it's so easy to look at the big picture, like, at 365 days in the year, I'll get this done by the end of spring. I'll get this done. Oh, I guess we're going to have to do it this summer. Well, summer got busy with vacations and sporting events and so forth. Oh, well, you know what? Fall, we've got fall. That's the downtime. It starts raining, so we'll do it then. And it's just like, then you look at the end of the year and you're like, I didn't get the things accomplished that I wanted to. So here are some of the questions that I ask myself, because also that self-evaluation can easily go one of two ways. You can look at it and say, man, these are all the mistakes, the failures, the bad decisions, the negativity. You can easily get yourself down in a slump. But I also want you to focus on, too, evaluating the successes. You know what? I had an issue with anger, and I liked fighting people and beating people up who I thought deserved it. So what? Sometimes I'm just like, man, I walked away from that situation without slapping that dude and then slapping him just to see if I was going to punk him, if he was going to do anything. And then I was going to really hurt him if he tried, right? Or you wanted to get into an argument with somebody who was saying something bad about you, and you bit your tongue and walked away and was a bigger person. See, if they or somebody does something to you and then you react opposite of how you wanted to, they are in fact your master. So I want you to celebrate when you're doing this self-evaluation all the times that you was a master and intentional with your life this year. And see, I want you to put this all down on a piece of paper, and I want you to put down the places where you did amazing, and even write down what went into it and all the ingredients or the parts and pieces that helped you be successful, because I need you to take those, and you need you to take those, and we need you to take those into this next year. Like, hey, what am I good at? What was I really good at this year? And it was easy for me to be good at. Because see, that's how you get those victories as well, is you continue bringing in all those good things that you're great at, and then improving the areas where you're not so good at. There's school for a reason. There's counseling for a reason. There's the gym to make us strong for a reason. We're not all just gifted and shaped with six-pack abs for the rest of our lives. It takes that work and being intentional to do it. So on the self-evaluation, again, pros, cons, goods, bads. And see, you are the only one who is going to be able to change you. So one of the first things that I wrote down on my self-evaluation was how much self-improvement did I make, and how many times was I able to not focus on pointing at someone else. I talked about that a lot, like pointing at you, but I've also got 3 pointing at me and 1 at God. So that was one of the biggest things for me, was focusing on me. And then also this year was focusing on not gossiping. Not talking negatively about anybody unless they're in the room and it's to them, not to somebody else. But instead, anytime I got in a situation where I heard gossip, say, hey, let's talk about their good attributes. And then, if that's something you want to talk about, maybe talk about that to them in person. So that was a self-improvement. I focused on saying the serenity prayer a lot this year. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Sometimes I tried to control some situations, and it was just like I had to eventually look back and be like, man, I cannot control this situation. I've got to give it to God. But you know what? This situation I can control. My eating habits, my social media time, how I am as a father, how I am as a husband, how I am as a friend, how I show up to the job sites at work. The thoughts that come into my head, I just did a video on defeating the demons, and there's sometimes some bad thoughts come into your head, that you have, and hey, you know what? That's a lie. That's not the truth, and that's not who I am. That's not like me to think like that anymore. Taking that ownership and that self-evaluation. It's all about being the source. Am I intentional? Tangible things, and having accountability partners. If you truly want improvement, it's hard to do this alone. And the thing is I go back to the wolf pack, the men's group that I was in at one time. A wolf is one of the strongest animals in the forest and can defeat almost any animal. But there's multiple animals that can defeat them, and there's multiple packs of animals that can beat one wolf. For instance, a pack of hyenas. A wolf can kill a hyena, but a pack of hyenas can defeat a wolf. So see, the wolf pack is strong enough to do it. Strong enough to do it alone, but smart enough to do it in a pack, because there's no animal that will actually challenge a wolf pack. So see, having an accountability partner or partners, I have multiple accountability partners. I have a list of 10 people that I call when I'm down, when sometimes I'm getting too much negativity in my mind, when I'm needing challenged, when I'm needing reminded, when I'm needing lifted up. When I need someone, I say, Kurtis, stop that crap, man. Stop. You know what? Stop doubting yourself. Somebody to feed off of and say, hey, what do you think about this? People that are going to point me to God. People that are going to point me to doing the best that I possibly can in life. I changed my circle this year, and I'm forever grateful. Going where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. Where I'm loved, and the people will love me unconditionally. Even if I mess up, they're going to tell me, and that's the kind of accountability partners that I want. And I just encourage you to not take things as an attack if they say that to you. My buddy said something real hard to me the other day about a situation. I was like, you know what? You're right. Man, I was looking at that in the victim mentality. I was focusing on someone else. He's like, man, you was talking about, I was like, man, you know what? You're right, buddy. And I just appreciate you for being there authentically, having the strength to tell me what you saw from the outside looking in, because this is a moment of growth for me and an opportunity for me to capitalize out of this lesson and grow and turn this into something amazing. Amazing things can happen from even the worst situations. You think about the hardest breakup that you went through, where somebody left you, they traded you in for someone else. You had heard that they had been entertaining that person for months. It was hard. You love them. And you're like, man, I just wish you would have forgave me. I just wish you would have gave me a chance. I wish you would have grown with me. I wish you would have, for maybe a spouse, I wish you would have went to marriage counseling with me. I wish you would have for once taken ownership and said, man, this is what I'm bringing into this. It takes 2 to build a relationship, and it takes 2 to end a relationship. Like, come on, where are you going to meet me in the middle? That was hard. It was like a dagger in your heart. You lost that person. But you know what? It turned you into one of the best versions of yourself. And I think about it. I remember one time I was going through a breakup and the girl was like, oh yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to go work out every single day. I'm going to go make all kinds of money. I'm going to become the best version of myself for the next person. And I was like, imagine what our relationship would have looked like if the both of us would have focused on becoming the best version of ourselves now for the relationship we're in now. You said you loved me and I said I loved you. So why are we giving up? Why aren't we refusing to let this end and fighting to become the best version of ourselves now? Love never fails. Love never gives up. So why not show that we meant it when we said we loved you? Because if you give up on somebody you said you loved, then it just means you liked them a lot. You didn't actually love them. You was lying to them the whole time when you said you loved them. Everything is forgivable. So that's one of the questions. So here's a list of questions that I wrote down to myself taking into next year for this year's self-evaluation. One of them was, is there anyone that I haven't forgiven? Because see, that forgiveness is like drinking a poison and maybe you're not hoping it kills them. But see, every time you think about them in a way that you haven't forgiven them, it's like drinking poison. It just kills you. It hurts you. You can have a heart attack from stress and anxiety and anger and bitterness, jealousy. And see, change that one letter in bitterness instead of B-I, change it to the B-E-T-T-E, right? E-R, come on, better. Instead of being bitter, let's be better. And see, the one thing that I learned about forgiveness, because see, I drive by this place every day of this person that had gained a financial gain from taking from me financially. And it was somebody that I was so angry with. I may have not broke their nose. Like, it was a bad situation. The person never said sorry, never admitted that he screwed me out of a ton of money. I had to forgive him because see, every time I saw that dude, I would be like, I'd clench my jaw. And actually one time I saw him driving towards me. His vehicle is customized, so I knew it was him. I swerved into his lane just to show that dominance, flipped him the bird and said, come at me, bro. You know what? It wasn't my fault what he had done to me. That's his character. That's who he is as a person. And I reacted badly and I beat him up when we got into a heated altercation over that money. But I had to forgive him and say, you know what? Anytime you loan money or anything like that, like there's a chance of it not coming back to you. And it was holding me back from becoming the best version of myself, which was actually holding back my financial situation even more. And now when I drive by his business, I'm like, you know what? I wish you nothing but success. And a person that can hurt somebody because of $1 is somebody that's just trapped in their lives. And I actually felt remorse and saddened and prayed for that person. Every time I drive by, I'm like, money is your master to where you can hurt people for $1. And I prayed for his healing. And see, I prayed for his business to become so successful that he no longer had to hurt anyone for a financial gain ever again. I know that pain that it felt from him taking me financially in one of the moments where we needed the money most. My wife and I were pregnant with a kid. And it was hard. So now I've learned that also in forgiveness that people have had to forgive me for the decisions I've made, the places where I've messed up. So forgiveness is huge. And once you choose to forgive people, I promise you it'll be one of the best opportunities to grow and become that boundless version of yourself. Some more questions that I asked myself this year. Has my knowledge grown? Not because of experiences, like, has my knowledge grown because I've read books, magazines, went to seminars, workshops? Because I listened to gurus or people that were more intelligent than me. I love getting in the room with people 60, 70, 80 because they have so much knowledge, and just having a moment to stop and listen and hear what they have to say and learn from them. I don't want to be, and I'm not going to say I don't want to be. I am not going to be that person that's, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like, I want to grow, and I'm going to intentionally grow for the rest of my life, because even some of these kids, I learned some stuff from my son who's almost 4. From teenagers, they can teach us about technology. All the new stuff that they're learning in school is not the same stuff we learned in school. So you can learn from them if you just open your mind. So intentionally growing my knowledge. One, I asked myself, have I mastered a subject this year? That's hard. It's like I try to improve multiple areas of my life, but have I mastered a subject? Honestly, I can't say if I've mastered a subject. I've improved a lot of them, but I will tell you, when I wrote down this question, I also am writing down some stuff where I am going to be intentional on becoming a professional and a master of those subjects in 2022. That's what the self-evaluation is for, not for that guilt and that shame, but an opportunity of growth. And where can I be an intentional next year? They say that if you look at your calendar, it should tell you exactly what you're growing on. Like, am I scheduling seminars and workshops? Am I scheduling anything in my life? Am I being intentional about growing in any way, or is life just happening to me? Have I improved any negative habits? It's hard to look yourself in the mirror and be like, man, you know what? Sometimes I react badly. Man, I make excuses a lot. Man, I procrastinate. Man, I watch too much TV. Man, I used to video game, and I actually sprained my left ankle playing softball on Monday night, and I broke my right ankle on a Thursday night, which was actually Halloween. I couldn't do anything. Like, I'm on crutches, and I can't even put weight on either ankle. So I started gaming. I was getting unemployment, didn't have to go out and work, waiting for them to heal so I can go back to work. So I started gaming and playing Call of Duty. It was in the middle of the winter, happened on Halloween, so it was all November, December, January. I couldn't even get on it for 90 days. I couldn't put 5 pounds of pressure on it. So I started gaming a lot, and I had a roommate, and he was gaming with me, and Call of Duty was our thing. And one day I was just on there just kind of checking some stuff out on my profile, and it said I had averaged 40.5 hours of gaming time a week. And I was like, what? I put in a whole week job playing a video game that gained me nothing. I know a lot of gamers out there, and you know what? Sometimes you got to fill your own cup. And if gaming is it for you, that's awesome. But is it robbing you? Like, do you need to play that much where it's robbing you from your kids, your wife, your dreams, your goals, your growth? Like, is it just wasting your life away? Are you catching up on every single movie, video, sitcom, basketball game, football game? Like, is there something that's holding you back, your negative habits? Another question I asked myself, have I improved my organization? And you know, that's actually something I focused on a lot. I did a video the other day on organization and how it can improve your life, and how it can actually give you 4 hours a week. So where can I be more organized and prepared for any situation that I'm going to go into? Like, are you preparing today for what you're doing tomorrow? Are you getting your clothes out tonight so that when you wake up, you can hop out of bed and not instantly have that, like, what am I going to wear? What am I going to? No, you can just start off your day by controlling your morning by what you did last night with organization. Another question that I asked myself, has my financial position changed any? Are your finances the same they were last year and the year before and the year before? Maybe it's time to read a financial improvement book. Like maybe it's time to take that 70-20-10 rule. So that's one of the commitments that I made. So 70-20-10 means your first 10%, you give to God, you tithe, give to a church, non-for-profit if that's what you choose. If you don't go to church, giving back. You'll reap what you sow. You'll get your return tenfold. Maybe not today, but eventually. God honors that giving heart. 20% is invest. So instead of just say you tithe 10% and then you live off of that 90%, as soon as you get paid, take 20% and invest it into something that's going to be an asset that's going to improve your finances. Even if you're not quite educated right now on investing in something, maybe take that 20% and invest it in paying off your debt. 20% instantly goes to the credit card debt, the school debt, paying off your vehicle early. I paid off my truck 3 years early, and man, I can't tell you how amazing that felt in the amount of interest that it saved me. It was ridiculous. If you pay one extra house payment a year, it'll take 10 years off of your note. Man, instead of paying 30 years on my house, I only have to pay 20 years by just making one extra payment a year. What could you do with all that money if you pay your house off 20 years early? Is that going to make it to where you're not struggling, living off of your retirement and having to work that extra job? Or it's preventing you from actually going and doing the things you want to do when you retire, like traveling the world, buying an RV and going and doing whatever? Maybe your kids moved out of state and you can't even financially go and see them. Or they ask you to come do something and you got to tell your kids, sorry, I've got to work. Like for me, no. For me, finances isn't just about things either. I've watched so many funerals turn out to be bad because whoever passed away, a grandparent or a parent, they had money that was going and getting spread out between the family, and it caused a feud because everybody's like, I want, give me that money. So I told myself, one of my goals in life is to be so financially fit or in a good position to where I do not have to want any of the finances from either of my parents when they pass away, because I do not want that to be something that is going to dictate my relationship with my siblings. Like, you know what, sis? Hey, I want you to improve, so I'm going to give you my cut of my inheritance. I hope that you use this to pay off some debt to make your life easier on yourselves. Another question that I asked myself, how many times did I exercise this year? First half of the year, I didn't do so well, but when I'd self-evaluated and I realized that I got back on track, sometimes we fall, we get back up, and I'll tell you what, like, I'm almost in the best shape of my adult life, and I have so much energy. It feels amazing, and I'm telling you, the moment that you just say, you know what, I'm going to start exercising for 10 minutes a day. Start off small when you're changing those habits. Start off with 2 minutes or less. It's said that the heaviest weight in the gym is the front door. So just start. See, I had almost broke my back, broke my ankle. Man, I've tore some muscles in my shoulder. Put a lot of my body through a lot of pain. So like when I did squats, I started off with just the bar. When I did bench press, I started off with 25 on each side. Like I had to start off small again. My curls, I started off with 12-pound weights, the same weights my wife was doing. But I had torn both my shoulders when I was in construction, and I knew that I had to take it easy. And also I knew that if I just went ham, didn't give myself any grace, I'd end up failing. Same thing with my diet. What food am I intaking? For Thanksgiving, I was so proud of myself. I didn't eat one cookie or one piece of pie. That may not be your goal, but you know what? Going into Christmas today, I guess that's yesterday, really. By the time this video is posting, how about only allow yourself one cookie, one deep fried food a week this year, one soda a day this year, or 2022, the coming year? Where are you intentional with what you're eating? There's multiple times where, you know what, work made it to where I had to eat out. I didn't pack enough and I was starving. I worked late. I got to where even if I went to fast food, I would trade the French fries for a yogurt parfait or a side salad. There were times where I wanted it. I don't drink a lot of soda unless it's with tacos or pizza, but there's a lot of times I'll drink sweet tea and I would say, you know what, I'm not drinking a sweet tea. I'm going to drink a water this year. I consistently drank at least 88 ounces of water every single day this year. I mean, there was a couple days where I didn't, but I'd say that that's one area that I was very intentional on. And don't get me wrong, there's times where I just want a soda. I just want a sweet tea. I just want to drink that bad stuff that's bad for us. But what was my goals? Did I let anything master me this year? Man, when I watched that video and I realized it too, and I've been doing a lot of this self-reflection, looking myself in the mirror, but when I saw that video on Mike Tyson, that if there's anything in your life that is controlling you or making you do something that you don't want to do, it is your master. You are a slave to it. How does that make you feel? You know, a lot of this racist stuff went on and they were talking about slavery back in the day and all this. And I was like, man, my heart hurts for anyone that was a slave in their life. And I couldn't imagine being in that position. But then I realized I have been a slave to some things. How does that make you feel knowing that whenever something controls you, you are a slave to it? It is your master. So is there anything in your self-evaluation that says, hey, this thing has mastered me, but enough is enough is enough? You know, today is Christmas. I'm sorry, I keep saying that because I'm recording this video today for tomorrow. But we're giving. Just got done wrapping the last bit of Christmas presents. I think I got actually one or two more. And studies have shown that giving is more euphoric than taking. And there's been times where I was going through some stuff and I just went and served. And I can't tell you the amount of joy that it's created in my heart. And I'll tell you, karma, I don't know what you want to call it, karma, God, just the world giving you, reaping what you sow, whatever. But if you go give, so how many times did I volunteer this year? How many times did I lift somebody up that was struggling? How many times did I help someone improve or get through hard situations? How many times did I lend out a hand? If somebody's up, not to point down at them, but to lift them up and help them. I'm gonna add more as the week goes by to this list of self-evaluation. And I just invite you to look at some areas in your life too and do a self-evaluation. Remember to celebrate the times, the victories, and let's be intentional together, because that's the only way we can become boundless, is being intentional on those areas in that self-evaluation, celebrating the victories, learning from the mistakes, growing in the process, taking the good with us. Not, you can't continue to just celebrate, oh, I did great last year and the year before. Man, I was a beast in high school. No, we're going to continue every single year being a beast, every single year becoming more boundless. Or I guess less boundless, less bound, more boundless. We can do this together. I believe in you. You're worthy. You're capable. You have the potential inside you and you deserve it. You're worthy of it. But you are the only one that's going to change you. Looking in the mirror, I'm looking at myself kind of in a mirror right now and I'm like, Kurtis, no one's going to change your life but you. Nobody's going to achieve your goals but you. Nobody is just going to hand you the things for you to knock stuff off of your bucket list but you. Not your wife, not your parents, not your kids. Hey, maybe my son might play in the NFL one day and say, here, Dad, I just bought you a Benz. I don't know. But the only one that you can focus on is you, the man or woman in the mirror. And am I being intentional? Am I taking ownership? Am I being the source? I believe in you that you can, you will, you must. Let's make 22 the best of the rest of our lives, the best year of the rest of our lives. Just the best year to come and many more amazing years to come. I love you all. If this helped you, please share, like, comment, tag somebody if you want to challenge them to that self-evaluation. Say, hey, buddy, let's meet up and do some self-evaluation together. And then let's be accountability partners for 2022. So you and me, buddy, you're my best friend. Maybe it's your wife, your spouse, your husband, your parents. I don't know, your siblings, whoever it is who you can truly talk with. Let's be each other's accountability partners so we can grow together and spend the rest of our lives being the best of our lives. I love you all. Put in the comment section anything you want on some of the questions you ask yourself in your self-evaluation. Give me some stories of some amazing things that you've accomplished this year in the midst of this stupid COVID. Like, come on. Let's put some testimonies down in the comment section so everyone can get some hope from this. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day and be boundless for the rest of 2021.